G'day, Pickleball family. The MLP Atlanta event has concluded. Let's go through a recap of the Premier Level semi-finals and final. Peachtree Corners in Atlanta was jumping with Sunday Funday Pickleball Energy. The tournament culminated with Premier Level semi-finals featuring Arizona versus Orlando, followed by Miami versus DC, before playoff darlings Orlando and DC battled it out for ultimate MLP Atlanta bragging rights. On a sun-drenched court, the Orlando Squeeze were crowned 2023 MLP Atlanta Premier Level champions. Anna Bright was named Premier Level MVP. The Premier Level semi-finals between Arizona versus Orlando, it was a brisk 57 degrees as the first semi-final match between Arizona and Orlando kicked off at 8 a.m. Eastern. To quote Anna Bright's post-game interview, "When you've got ice in your veins, who cares if it's a little chilly?" Head-to-head Team Duper ratings gave the Squeeze ladies a 50% probability of taking the first game, which turned out to be an accurate prediction. Anna Bright and Rachel Rohrbacher got out to a 3-0 advantage before Vivian Glosman brought the Arizona Heat to make it 3-3. Her partner Vivian David's defense and quick hands shone during the firefights between the two teams. Rohrbacher and Bright struck back as David and Glosman made a couple of errors at the net, leading to an 11-6 squeeze advantage at the changeover. The drive struggled to shake off their missteps, and the women's doubles game went to the Squeeze 21-13. Arizona's Julian Arnold and Deckel Barr came out with a vengeance and took an early 5-1 lead in Game 2, largely thanks to Deckel Barr's unanswered forehand flick and backhand counters. The drive continued their mission until Andre Diascu parted the middle to cut the Orlando deficit down to 2 points, 19-17, and then tie it up at 20-all. Though not predicted by Duper ratings, Julian Arnold's chest-beating Andiamo chants were a safe bet and served up in spades throughout the match. Arnold tied things up again at 21-all with a forehand counter and a finger wag. Deckel Barr gave Arizona a game point advantage with a backhand counter that landed on the line, and Arizona took the game on the next rally, 23-21. Orlando's Andre Diascu and Anna Bright prepared for battle and worked together on a 7-3 lead against Julian Arnold and Vivian David for the first mixed doubles game. Bright bodybagged Arnold off an impressive ATP to give her team even more momentum going into the changeover, with the Squeeze up 11-7. A firefight between all four players, 14-9, ended with David helping Arizona close their 5-point gap. Andre Diascu ran towards David's forehand counter and got bodybagged. Bright had a line drive to Arnold's backside, making it 19-14 to the Squeeze. And she was unstoppable with a backhand attack volley alongside Diascu as the two sealed the first mixed doubles game for the Squeeze. In a crucial fourth game for the drive, Deckel Barr and Vivian Glosman stood tall opposite Zane Navratil and Rachel Rohrbacher. After back-to-back poachers from Barr, Glosman finished a shake and bake to make the game 6-1 Arizona. Trailing 11-6 at the side switch, the Squeeze earned the next few points as Zane Navratil capped off a backhand ATP with a celebratory shoulder shimmy to tie things up at 11-all. Barr stacked on a couple of body bags on both Squeeze opponents to give the drive a 17-16 lead. Glosman's net cord volley pushed Arizona to 22-21 to win the game on the next rally and take the first match to a dream breaker. Fueled by a robust fan presence, the Squeeze came out firing on all fronts. Zane's flying backhand, Ernie gave Orlando a 4-2 lead, and incredible cat and mouse rally between Andre Diascu and Julian Arnold culminated with an amazing backhand winner for Orlando. Zane Navratil ripped a forehand shot to give his team a breakaway advantage at 15-8. Rachel Rohrbacher closed things out with a crazy angle on a forehand passing shot as Orlando clinched their spot in the final, taking the match 3-2. In Miami versus DC matches, Jackie and Jade Kawamoto put their twin power to the test against Miami's Hurricane Tyra Black and Alison Harris to get the match started with a women's doubles face-off. Jackie's speed up, followed by Jade's overhead slam, tied the game at 3-3, before Black and Harris showed their respective prowess on defense. The game was tied at 9-all after a crafty down-the-middle shot from Harris. The Kawamotos ran away with it after a combination of deft moves, finishing the first game with a DC victory 21-15. Miami's Tyson McGuffin entered the match and sought to amp up the crowd after a couple of clever moves, tied the men's doubles game at 4-all. DC's Riley Newman returned the favour with creative shot selection to give he and Christian Olshon an 8-7 lead. MPC's Federico Staxrud fired back with two incredible ATPs to make it 11-10 Miami at the changeover. It remained a tight game down the stretch as both sides exhibited backhand winners and were determined to win each firefight. Newman met Miami's electric play with a flying bird to tie the score at 19-all. Newman and Olshon teamed up on the last couple of points to take the men's doubles point 21-19. Jackie Kawamoto and Christian Olshon entered their first mixed doubles game against Alison Harris and Tyson McGuffin, determined to take on the match. Olshon had a perfectly timed earning to give DC a 5-1 lead. Harris won a 5-5 for Miami with a backhand shot to bring Miami's energy up as she and McGuffin fought back to make the game 6-all. Olshon responded with a 1-2 combo, a spectacular flying Ernie, and an overhead slam to give DC a 12-8 lead. He continued to shine in the face of McGuffin's resets as DC shot out to an 18-11 lead that Miami could not recover from. DC won the match 3-0 and marched their way into the Premier level final against Orlando. And if you're finding this helpful and informative, please be sure to ding that like button. In the Premier level final between DC and Orlando, the 2023 MLP Atlanta Premier level final was full of dramatic momentum shifts in front of a packed house on Championship Court. To start the match, Jackie and Jade Kawamoto took on Anna Bright and MLP rookie Rachel Rohrbacher. Duper's head-to-head prediction gave either duo a 50% chance of taking this first game. Jackie finished a forehand put-away to tie the game at 3-all. Orlando punched it up and won a firefight to tie it at 5-all. The sister-sister connection proved strong as Jackie finished a Jade setup to give DC a 9-7 lead. Bright and Rohrbacher pushed the tempo with a couple of forehand throwdowns to cut Orlando's deficit to 13-11. Jade read Anna's shot correctly and finished with a forehand shot to give DC a 14-12 advantage. Rachel responded with a cross-court dink to narrow Orlando's gap by 1. Jackie and Jade worked in unison to take the next few points, winning the first game for DC 21-16. The men's doubles teams showed up ready to rumble as Riley Newman backhand attack volley leveled the score at 2-all. Andre Eskew and Zane Navratil were in sync as they applied pressure to give Orlando a 7-6 lead. DC's Newman stayed on his toes and used quick hands to swing DC up over Orlando 14-7. DC's performance prompted an Orlando timeout. The squeeze looked refreshed after winning what was arguably the rally of the tournament, multiple resets from Newman and Olshon, huge firefights that eventually ended up with Dieskew's forehand fireball down the line, bringing the score to 16-9, with DC still out in front. Despite a nasty drop shot from Zane Navratil, Riley Newman finished a dominating men's doubles with a backhand speed up 21-12. With the squeeze running out of juice for the match, Brighton Dieskew entered the third game hungry for a win against the on-fire Jackie Kawamoto and Christian Olshon. Dieskew used his length to tie it up, slam at 3-all. Bright won a firefight to give Orlando a 5-4 lead. Kawamoto defended Dieskew's ATP, which gave way to his speed up, only for Olshon to read and counter for a tie game at 9-all. The squeeze picked up the pace as Dieskew and Bright played their best pickleball. Andre's overhead slams paired with Bright's craftiness and multiple resets sent this point-per-point game to an overtime standoff. Olshon just missed an early attempt to win first mixed doubles, point 24-22. Rachel Rohrbacher and Zane Navratil came into the fourth and laid it all on the line, knowing they had to save the match to win this game. Rachel's speed up, followed by an ATP, gave Orlando a 5-2 lead. Zane followed suit with emphatic overhead slams and a flying Ernie body bag against Jade Kawamoto to give Orlando a 13-8 lead. Kawamoto and Newman came stomping back with a 5-0 run to cut their deficit down to 2, 15-13. A battle of incredible hands ended with Zane going down the middle to give Orlando a 20-18 lead, bringing fans to their feet as Zane Navratil fist pumped at the baseline. Rachel stayed ready for Newman's speed up and slammed a forehand counter to give Orlando back-to-back mixed doubles wins and send this final match into a dream breaker. Riding an energetic wave after coming back from a daunting deficit, The Orlando squeeze stayed ignited for a crowd-pleasing dreambreaker. Zane Navratil had fans on their feet with a forehand blast past Newman to give Orlando a 5-2 lead. Riley Newman got the DC deficit down to 12-9, but then Anna Bright had Kawamoto guessing incorrectly as she stepped off to a 16-10 squeeze lead. Orlando went on an 8-0 run to win the Dreambreaker, the match, and the 2023 MLP Atlantic Premier title. Anna Bright was named MVP as her consistency and celebratory boosts were crucial to Orlando's success. Paddles up!